YouTube, what is up? Welcome to the Suitcast. It's me, Naisou here. And today, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about, hey, MSC 2023 just wrapped up yesterday. I had a bunch of you guys to hang out with the past few days, watching the knockout stages and just hanging out. So thank you guys all that joined the Sue fam and also just joined me for that stream. We'll be back to streaming at least once or twice a week, hopefully, on this channel. But I wanted to specifically just real quick talk about MSC 2023. My final thoughts with it all. Of course, I did a prediction video. If you didn't see it, it probably doesn't matter at this point, right? But it's still on the channel. You can check it out. But as we all know, ONIC from Indonesia won, right? They beat Blacklist 4-2. I gotta say, it was a great series. I felt like there could have been more that Blacklist could have done, but I don't want to dive too much into that because there's already a bunch of that online. If you guys want to hear all those thoughts and everything and what Blacklist could have done here and there, blah blah blah, drafting, etc. There's tons of it, right? More so, I just kind of wanted to talk about, in my opinion, how this is like a great thing for the longevity, for the health of the esport, but at the same time. First off, I was wrong, right? I predicted Blacklist and Echo would be in the grand final. I did mention in that prediction video, though, that low-key, it would be great if it wasn't a PH versus PH grand final. And that is exactly what we didn't have, right? We had the PH versus ID grand final. So I'm not sure exactly what the viewership was for that, but I'm assuming it was pretty high because it seemed like it felt like a lot of people wanted to see the Philippines lose for once, right? I mean, maybe not for once. I feel like people have been honestly feeling like that for a while now. Again, the Philippines has just been so dominant in MLBB esports that they're the ones with a target on their back. Whether it's Blacklist, whether it's Echo, whether it's some other team down the road, Philippines is a powerhouse when it comes to MLBB, right? We know that. Other countries started importing talent, importing coaches, analysts, and everything else because Filipinos are just so good at MLBB. So, excuse me, I have something in my nose. So I was wrong on that front, that it would be PH versus PH, my predictions. I was happy that it was not that the case because it makes things a lot more interesting, especially this time as I'm just a viewer. And even though, naturally I'm still rooting for Blacklist yesterday, I was still hoping that, Philippines would get the win. I can see the bigger picture here. And I think, that's the important thing. At the end of the day, too, ONIC has worked their asses off. Let's be honest. They were a very different team when Kairi and Yeb first went over there seasons ago. Maybe, I don't know if it's been a year at this point. But if you just watch ONIC as a whole, there's been so many improvements there. And for me personally, I think they really do deserve this win. And I think, again, I've said this before, Kairi is not only, well, this is a little bit biased just because, he's been one of my favorite junglers, even when I was just a viewer. Before I even got into casting, before I got into streaming, I had always enjoyed watching Kairi play. So for me, he's the best jungler. I know, there's a whole debate that can happen there with Carl Teasy being the GOAT, why is the king of the jungle, Kairi, the Sky King, the one before he was the future, now he's the one, whatever you want to call him. For me, Kairi is my best jungler. That's what I would say. And without diving too much into it, because I have a separate video actually for Kairi in the works. I've had that for a while, just kind of like the Oh My Venus video that I've had here on the channel. Kairi for me is just the best jungler because he might not be the best at retribution battles, long retribution battles. Sometimes he's having those off games, he's not able to get them, and he's credited his team before. He's credited his team that, hey, they've carried me a couple times. When he's faltered, but overall, I love the fact, what makes him the best jungler for me is the fact that Kairi is so exciting to watch. In a meta where a lot of these great junglers are kind of forced into utility picks, nothing too fancy, although there's, been great moments as well on those utility picks. But I love the fact that Kairi is not afraid to pick those assassins that everybody loves watching. Again, the Fanny, right? The Fanny that we got to see in that last series, or even pop up a couple times, is just proof that, you know, he's not afraid to be basically counterpicked. Like if he does pick a Hayabusa, a Fanny, or whichever, a Ling, you know what I mean? Because now I feel like it's different where ONIC Esports, they're really playing as a team. And this is something that can be said also with, you know, why Echo is so strong. Yeah, they lost in the series, but, you know, even for Echo, that's what makes them so strong. Like the team play, the team synergy there, that's what we saw from ONIC, you know. And even when Kairi picks the Fanny, his team really supports him. If it's just to get a purple buff, they're really supportive in helping him secure that purple buff, because they know that that's a key component to winning games. Now, real quick too, I just want to briefly talk about this. I'm going to, before we switch over, Snipe Gaming TV, not sure if you're going to watch this or not, but I appreciate your channel, man. And this is just a shout out to your channel. I know you don't need the shout out, but I love what you do on your channel, the clips and everything. I'm actually going to bring up your channel here. So this is Snipe's channel. Give him a sub. He's already got 270,000 subscribers. The dude's killing it. Pumps out videos like crazy. Mad respect to the grind man and your team. If it's a team, if it's you, I'm not 100% sure, but Snipe Gaming TV, check him out. He's got great videos here, right? And this, he really highlights everything that happened here, and kind of like even my thoughts, right? Just starting with that finals. Again, the Echo matchup was probably one of the best that we've seen ever, right? The semifinals match. The semifinals matchup where they forced Echo down, and it was the longest game, I think, in MSC. That was an amazing series, even though it was a sweep. It didn't feel like a sweep, man. But, you know, moving on to the grand final. Again, I did expect Blacklist to win this, maybe 4-3. I did not expect a sweep, but instead it ends up being 4-2 ONIC, which is, again, congratulations to ONIC. But it was great the way that it started. You know, Manjin versus Mirko. That was, you know, a nice little segment they did. And Manjin even joked like, hey, even if you guys win, you got carried by a Filipino, you know. But again, I don't think that, to be fair, I don't think this win, or just in general where ONIC is now, they're not Kairi esports. You know, there are times where Kairi is he's single-handedly carrying some games or parts of the game. But I will say ONIC esports as a whole, or ONIC Indonesia, they've really stepped up across the board, and I think they deserve this win, and they deserve that record they have now. Of course, too, with Coach Eb and Nadi there, it's really apparent the impact they've had, you know. So even if you guys haven't yet, take a look at these clips. They paint it really well. Some of the ones that I love is, you know, this one, this outplay. This is so good on the Lancelot. Like, how does he survive this stuff? Dodges away, survives that. They chase him down again. Look at that. How? Mirko did such a good at calling that too. That's exactly what everybody's minds are thinking. Look at this. There's no way you survive this guy. There's no way. The bloodhound comes down, but even a Wolf, man. Wolf losing his mind. Finally goes down. Like, it's moments like that which is, again, you want to see in junglers. Of course, you have to respect the meta too, but this is what I love. Like, this is a tanks a lot, right? I'm pretty sure it's a tanks a lot. But like Kairi, the way that he still plays it makes you wonder sometimes, like, how the hell did he do that? And it kind of blows your mind, whether that's the tanks a lot, whether that's a Ling, whether that's a Hayabusa, a Fanny. And as a viewer, as a caster, it's so exciting to see that, you know, in a meta that we have, like, mostly utility junglers, where it's like Fredrin, Akai, you know, just kind of like duking it out, Martiz before. So, and even in moments like this, when we got to see his Fanny, right? The Fanny here, just, dude, he just demolishes Owl. You know, right? Owl is having a hard time, dude. Yeah. Like, Owl just had a terrible game that game because Kairi was hunting him down. There was even a clip where he got deleted in like literally a second, right? So, and then of course we even had where Keyboy mentions the MVP should be Kairi. But dude, to be fair, Keyboy, man, I'll be fair. I'll like, I know Keyboy says, hey, Kairi should be the MVP, but for me, Keyboy, man, he played his mind out. He played his mind out, and I'll really say, like, this is where he says, you know, no, it should be Kairi.
I think Kairi.
But dude, Keyboy played amazingly. Not just in that series, the grand final series, but throughout MSC for the most part, he played great, man. Even the Cho that he brought out, just amazing, right? So there was that, and then of course, you know, this was a great moment to see also Kairi and Edward again. Before all MSC happened, there was a picture I think going around with Kairi, Edward, and Renegade. They were hanging out. They're all good friends, and just the story too, like just the story of, you know, just the story of Kairi, where, you know, where he came from, the Philippines, that kind of journey that he's had, you know, in a way, prodigy himself and everything, to, you know, being on the same team with Venus, and then the whole trade that happened. Oh my Venus and Venus and Wise, and then the whole trade that happened, and you know how things kind of fell into place there. And then you had that matchup, you know, Kairi goes over to Indonesia, still on ONIC, right? Still on the same technically organization, just in a different country, goes through his growth process and journey there, and then ends up meeting them in the grand final for MSC. Like, that story is so good. And, you know, I can't wait to dive into it more in the kind of like mini docu-series that I'm doing with this, because I've got one in the works here. This is more so just to kind of talk and get my thoughts out for pretty much the reaction of the ending of MSC here. Now, before I close this out, again, for me personally, this is once again an amazing thing, just for the health of the esport. You know, I posted something on Twitter, and it pretty much was like, I don't know if you guys know Arthas from Warcraft, when he's holding up Frostmourne, and he's like, you know, no king rules forever or something like that. I think it was actually Arthas's, either Arthas said it or Arthas's dad. I can't remember. One of them. I think it was Arthas. But basically, yeah, the Philippines at some point, if they just kept winning and winning and winning and winning, which we were doing, people are going to start, you know, betting against you. They want to see you lose. They want to see someone rise up through the rankings and be able to dethrone the king in a way. And so now this kind of checks the Philippines like, hey, yeah, there might be some Filipinos on these other teams, but be ready. You know what I mean? Because it's happening more and more. And I think this is also a transition of just esports for MLBB, and a new era almost, where, yeah, you're going to see these trades going on, not just within their regions, but then cross regions too. So I think that's a very healthy thing, whether that be coaches, analysts, or players. The impact of Filipinos, once again, going around the world and really playing on different teams makes things very exciting. And who knows if that happens with even other countries, you know, Indonesians, Malaysians, Cambodians. We've already seen it even from Myanmar. And like, for example, with Naomi. So, and the rest of, I think some of the other members from Falcon, I haven't 100% looked, but main thing I'm saying is the future of MLB esports, this is healthy for it. And I can't wait to see what happens in the future, especially for M5. As you guys saw too, there are going to be 2 new regions, I think, that are included. We didn't get all the breakdown, but there's also a wild card thing happening for M5. So that will make things even more interesting, right? So I think it's really, really healthy that this was the end result. Indonesia winning. Again, congratulations to ONIC, to Kairi getting his international trophy along with Yeb and the rest of the ONIC boys. And I can't wait to see them more, you know, as they prep up for the tournaments ahead of them that are not MPL, but then MPL and then M5. I can't wait to see what happens in M5 and that kind of new rivalry, because now we have one between pretty much like Blacklist, ONIC that's been there, Echo, you know, out to defend their title and everything, despite being, you know, knocked out of MSC. And it's just, I don't know. For me, I'm just very passionate about it. I'm super excited to see how it unfolds. Hopefully you guys feel the same. I know there's been a lot of negativity towards, for example, Echo, Blacklist, but at the end of the day, you guys got to realize that these are humans as well. They're all trying their best, and you know, we're all proud of the Philippine players, teams, coaches, and analysts that are around the world working right now. So that's going to be it for me. I just wanted to do a quick kind of like a debrief for myself, my thoughts here, final thoughts on MSC 2023. Again, overall, I think, lastly, I do want to say Cambodia killed it, man. Great job, Cambodia. You guys put on a hell of a show. Stage was amazing. Crowd was freaking awesome. The casting desk was great. I loved what they did this time for MSC. The format was great. And I can't wait to see what's in store for the future. All right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one. GG, WP.